I'm happy in a pair of khakis and a sweater, so I don't need fancy clothes. I don't need fancy food.
Do you have an iPad?
I do not have an iPad.
iPhone?
No.
In a world where immense wealth often leads to lives of unparalleled luxury, there are a select few billionaires who choose a different path, one of remarkable simplicity. What compels these titans of industry to forego the trappings of their vast fortunes and live as though they have so little? Prepare to be astonished as we delve into the surprising lives of these billionaires who live a life of modesty. Number 10. Warren Buffett. When you think of the Oracle of Omaha, the name Warren Buffett instantly comes to mind. As one of the world's richest individuals, his wealth is estimated at a staggering $120 billion. However, what truly makes Buffett stand out from the typical image of the super wealthy is his understated lifestyle and preference for treasured memories over flashy displays of fortune. Even with his enormous financial success, this renowned investor and business leader still resides in the same modest home he purchased more than 50 years ago. His decision to remain in this house highlights his commitment to simplicity and his desire to stay connected to the personal values that matter most. He prefers this, rather than succumbing to the temptation of luxurious living. Buffett's travel habits are equally modest. Despite owning one of the world's largest private jet companies as the head of Berkshire Hathaway, he frequently chooses to fly in economy class. Such a choice is almost unheard of among those with his level of wealth, yet it perfectly embodies his principle of steering clear of unnecessary extravagance. Although Buffett's preference for economy class is a testament to his frugality, his true focus lies in philanthropy. Despite accumulating an immense fortune over the years, he is committed to giving away the majority of his wealth to charitable endeavors, particularly through efforts like the Giving Pledge. Buffett is also known for encouraging other billionaires to donate significant portions of their fortunes to help tackle important societal challenges. His charitable work primarily supports initiatives in education, healthcare, poverty relief, and other critical social issues. Warren Buffett's dedication to philanthropy aligns with his belief that the wealthy have a duty to contribute significantly to the improvement of society. This perspective sets him apart as a billionaire who not only avoids lavish luxuries, but also actively seeks to use his resources for the greater good. His impact extends well beyond financial contributions, as his advocacy for ethical business practices and transparency has created a legacy that surpasses his impressive financial accomplishments. In a world where wealth often equates to excess, Warren Buffett shines as a model of humility, reminding us all that true wealth is measured not by what we accumulate, but by the positive influence we leave on the world. So, what other billionaires look beyond their amassed wealth and live like they are poor? Keep watching to find out. Number 9. David Cheriton. David Cheriton, a Stanford professor with an estimated net worth of $122.5 billion, is far from your typical billionaire. Despite his immense fortune, Cheriton firmly distances himself from the lavish lifestyle often associated with wealth, expressing a clear aversion to ostentatious living. He has even voiced his discomfort with extravagant choices, such as constructing homes with an excessive number of bathrooms. He finds it unnecessary and excessive. Unlike the conventional image of the ultra-wealthy, David Cheriton chooses to lead a life marked by modesty and simplicity. A striking example of this is his decision to cut his own hair, a task many in his financial bracket would delegate to a professional stylist. This personal approach to grooming is Cheriton's way of distancing himself from the opulence often expected of billionaires. Cheriton's preference for simplicity is further reflected in his living arrangements, as he has resided in the same house since 1981. His long-term attachment to his home highlights his preference for stability and his lack of interest in constantly upgrading to more extravagant properties, a common trend among the wealthy. This connection to his residence underscores Cheriton's belief in the importance of familiarity and substance over luxury. Additionally, in a world where luxury cars are often seen as status symbols, Cheriton stands out by driving a 1986 Volkswagen. This choice, decades old but still reliable, exemplifies his deliberate rejection of the flashy, ever-changing vehicles typically associated with wealth. His decision to stick with a modest car aligns with his broader philosophy of avoiding unnecessary extravagance. However, when it comes to using his wealth for the greater good, Cheriton is anything but reserved. His philanthropic efforts are a testament to his commitment to giving back to society. Cheriton made a significant donation of $25 million to the Computer Science School at the University of Waterloo, which led to the institution being renamed the David R. Cheriton School of Computer Science. He also contributed $2 million to the University of British Columbia to support the Carl Wieman Science Education Initiative. More recently, Cheriton donated $7.5 million to establish a new academic chair in computing and to develop a course focused on computational thinking. These generous contributions highlight his dedication to advancing education and supporting institutions that foster knowledge, rather than indulging in excessive displays of wealth. What a life of impact David Cheriton lives. The next billionaire is known for his extreme frugality. Who could he be? Let's find out. Number 8. Azim Premji. Azim Premji, often referred to as the Indian Bill Gates, is popularly known for his frugal lifestyle. Premji takes living modestly to another level, to the extent that he closely monitors the usage of toilet paper in his company's facilities. This has earned him a reputation for being exceptionally thrifty. Imagine being recognized as the boss who keeps an eye on even the most mundane details of employee habits. However, with a net worth exceeding $11 billion, perhaps such eccentricity is his prerogative. Premji earned the nickname Indian Bill Gates due to his success in transforming a small family business that produced vegetable oil into the tech giant Wipro Limited. Much like Gates, Premji demonstrated exceptional leadership in the tech industry, even manufacturing computers akin to international business machines. Yet, despite his immense wealth, Premji's life is characterized by humility, setting him apart from other billionaires. Beyond his scrutiny of toilet paper, Premji is also known for insisting that workers turn off lights when leaving for the day, showcasing his meticulous approach to avoiding waste. This behavior is typical for a billionaire who values every penny, even when it comes to a few hours of electricity. His frugality extends beyond the workplace to his personal life as well. Despite having the means to purchase any luxury car, Premji drove an old Ford for years until it finally broke down. When it was time to replace it, he chose a Toyota Corolla, hardly a symbol of luxury. After nearly 10 years, when the Corolla needed replacing, Premji still opted for a modest upgrade. Instead of buying a new vehicle, he purchased an old Mercedes E-Class from one of his employees, staying true to his commitment to a frugal lifestyle. Which other billionaire is committed to a frugal lifestyle just like Premji? Keep watching to know more. Number 7. Theo and Carl Albrecht. Aldi is often seen as Europe's version of Walmart, with founders Theo and Carl Albrecht amassing a net worth of over $38 billion. Coming from humble beginnings with a shopkeeper mother and a miner father, the Albrecht brothers' early experiences shaped both their retail empire and personal lives, even into their later years. However, it wasn't just these early lessons that defined them. Theo Albrecht faced a terrifying ordeal when he was kidnapped and held for 17 days. During this time, Carl negotiated a ransom of $2 million. Fortunately, the kidnappers were caught, though only half of the ransom was recovered. Surprisingly, Carl treated the payment as a business expense, highlighting the brothers' pragmatic approach to even the most personal crises. After this incident, the Albrechts chose to live in extreme seclusion. Carl's home, far from ostentatious, was a simple A-frame house with 4 levels, a small terrace, and a satellite dish on the roof. His modesty extended to his mode of transportation as he continued driving a Volkswagen from the 1980s. Theo, on the other hand, became deeply paranoid after his kidnapping, opting to drive to work in an armored vehicle, always varying his route to ensure his safety. The brothers avoided the spotlight to such an extent that interviews and photos of them are rare. Theo, who was slightly more well-known, had unusual habits like using pencil stubs, and wearing cheap, ill-fitting suits, preferring practicality over designer clothing. His frugality even extended to his meals, often choosing simple dishes based around potatoes. Theo's focus on saving money was exemplified during the planning of a new store in the Netherlands. While he appreciated the design, he criticized the use of thick paper for the plans, bluntly suggesting thinner paper to save money. Their personal dedication to simplicity mirrored the operations of Aldi. Known for its no-frills approach, Aldi's business model is centered on efficiency and cost-effectiveness. The brothers' early experiences profoundly influenced Aldi's success, allowing the company to offer quality products at low prices, avoiding the extravagance typically associated with billionaires. What are your thoughts on Theo and Carl's approach to business and life? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 6. Huang Guangyu. Next up is Huang Guangyu, a name that once symbolized immense wealth in China, yet his life is filled with contradictions. As the former chairman of Gome Group, the largest consumer electronics retailer in China, Huang was once crowned the richest man in the country, with his empire of electronic stores spread across the nation. However, beneath the surface of his billion-dollar fortune lay a life marked by surprising modesty and a deep-seated aversion to extravagance. Despite being worth over $6 billion, Huang didn't live in a lavish mansion or spend time on private yachts. Instead, he resided in a modest apartment in Beijing, sharing it with his wife and 2 daughters, a lifestyle more akin to that of a diligent accountant than a wealthy tycoon. News outlets often compared him to an old farmer, noting his rejection of the golfing craze that was popular in China and his lack of extravagant hobbies. Huang's frugality was rooted in more than just personal preference. His childhood, spent working in rice fields and picking up scrap to survive, ingrained a deep sense of thrift in him. He eventually dropped out of school, further shaping his cautious approach to wealth. In a country where the relationship with wealth is complex and the communist ideology remains strong, Huang's humility served a strategic purpose. In China, flaunting wealth can be risky, as the public often views the wealthy with suspicion. They brand them as crooks or parasites involved in tax evasion and unethical business practices. However, in 2010, Huang Guangyu was arrested for manipulating the stock market. As a result, he was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Despite being behind bars, he still wielded significant influence. One notable example was how he managed to increase his stake in Gome to consolidate his control in the company to 55.3%. Just as Huang's release approached in 2020, Gome, which had been struggling, saw an unexpected revival thanks to coincidental cash infusions. This signaled his continued influence in the business world. Our next billionaire who lives like his poor says his choice is based on influence from his religious beliefs. Who is he and what beliefs could this be? Stay tuned as we unveil these details. Number 5. David Green. David Green, the founder and chief executive officer of Hobby Lobby, is not only a successful businessman, but also a devout evangelical Christian. He has dedicated his life and wealth to his faith. Starting his business journey in 1970 with a modest loan of $600 to create picture frames in his garage, Green has grown his net worth to $14,600,000. His entry into the business world began with the production and sale of miniature picture frames in partnership with Larry Pico under the name Greco Products. After buying out Pico's share, Green expanded the business by employing individuals with cerebral palsy in a small factory, paying them 10 cents per frame. By August 1972, the business had shifted its focus to arts and crafts, leading to the opening of the first Hobby Lobby store, a 300-square-foot space in northwest Oklahoma City. Green's deep faith profoundly influences his life choices, leading him to view himself not as the owner of his wealth, but as a steward of God's money. This belief drives his frugal lifestyle and significant charitable contributions. Unlike many billionaires, Green shuns luxury, opting to fly coach, drive an old car, and live in a modest home. He has also been unafraid to defend his religious convictions, even challenging the United States government over the Obamacare mandate that required employers to provide contraception coverage. He argued that it violated his religious beliefs. David Green stands out as one of the largest individual donors to evangelical causes globally, having donated over $500 million to various ministries, missions, and charities. His passion for biblical artifacts and scholarship led to the founding of the Museum of the Bible in Washington, District of Columbia, a project he funded with $500 million. Established in 2010, the Museum of the Bible Incorporation, a nonprofit organization founded by the Green family, owns the museum, which opened its doors on November 17, 2017. The museum houses a permanent collection of 1,150 items, with an additional 2,000 items on loan from other institutions and collections. Green's frugality is a reflection of his faith and values, and he encourages others to adopt a similar approach to life. Despite his immense wealth, he lives like an ordinary person, using his fortune to further his vision and purpose. David Green is a successful entrepreneur, a devout Christian, and a generous philanthropist who embodies the principles he holds dear. This next billionaire sees life from a different perspective, choosing practicality over luxury. Number 4. Carlos Slim Helú. Carlos Slim Helú, a global business magnate, has built a vast empire spanning multiple industries, all rooted in his Mexico City origins. Once crowned the richest person in the world from 2010 to 2013 by Forbes, Slim inherited his family's legacy and expanded it into the Grupo Carso conglomerate. This business giant operates in telecommunications, mining, construction, real estate, and finance. Among his most notable enterprises is Telmex, an internet service provider that dominates the telecom market in Mexico, controlling 80% of landlines and 90% of telephone services. He also owns Grupo Sanborns, a retail powerhouse running department stores, restaurants, and cafes across Mexico. Slim's influence is not confined to Mexico. His business ventures extend internationally, with investments in companies like América Móvil, the 7th largest mobile network operator globally, as well as Saks Fifth Avenue and the New York Times, where he holds the position of the largest single shareholder. These international investments have solidified his reputation as a visionary and influential leader. Despite an estimated net worth of $101.6 billion, Slim lives a humble and simple life. Much like Warren Buffett, he maintains a frugal lifestyle, eschewing luxury for practicality. He does not live in a lavish home and avoids using computers for his work. He prefers to keep his financial data in handwritten notebooks. After losing his wife in 1999, Slim has cherished spending quality time with his children and grandchildren. Unlike many billionaires, he drives his own car without the aid of chauffeurs or security guards, even though his country faces safety challenges. While Slim's style may be more sophisticated than that of Mark Zuckerberg, he does not splurge on designer clothes, opting instead for apparel from the retail chains he owns. At 83 years old, Slim has a refined taste for art, culture, and philanthropy. Although he does not subscribe to the Giving Pledge, an initiative by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett encouraging wealthy individuals to donate at least half of their fortunes to charity, Slim has been generous with his wealth. By 2011, he had contributed $4 billion, about 5% of his wealth, to the Carlos Slim Foundation. Slim believes in the importance of philanthropy, but has not committed to giving away more than half of his wealth, as Gates and Buffett have. He has advised budding entrepreneurs that businessmen have a responsibility not only to give, but also to actively participate in solving societal problems. Recognizing his generosity, Forbes included Slim in its 2019 list of the world's most benevolent philanthropists outside the United States. In Mexico, Slim has established several philanthropic foundations. One of these, Fundación Telmex, hosts Copa Telmex, a sports tournament for amateurs that was recognized by Guinness World Records in 2007 and 2008. It was recognized as the world's largest tournament of its kind in terms of participants. This next billionaire refused to go all out even for his wedding. Why? Let's find out. Number 3. Terry Gou. Terry Gou, a Taiwanese billionaire entrepreneur and politician, is the founder, former chairman, and former chief executive officer of Foxconn. Foxconn has been instrumental in the global technology industry, earning its reputation as the world's largest contract manufacturer of electronics. As for the founder of this successful company, Terry Gou has consistently shown a friendly disposition toward mainland business interests throughout his political and business journey. This has earned him the title of an old friend of the Chinese leader, with international media drawing parallels between his business background and his identity as a political outsider. They liken him to former United States President Donald Trump. In addition to his business and political ventures, Terry Gou is also a billionaire who fully embraces a frugal lifestyle. For example, before marrying his second wife, Gou committed to donating 90% of his wealth to charitable causes. This extraordinary act of generosity was met with admiration, and Gou's wife reportedly signed the agreement without hesitation. However, the aftermath of their wedding in Taipei sparked some disappointment, particularly regarding Gou's relatively modest expenditure on the event. Given Gou's immense wealth, estimated at about $7.1 billion, many expected a grand celebration. However, the tycoon allocated only about $600,000 for the wedding. This figure drew contrasting reactions, especially when compared with the extravagant wedding of Gou's former girlfriend, who coincidentally married the same weekend. She spent approximately $6,500,000 on her celebration. The stark difference in financial commitment between the two weddings became a topic of discussion and scrutiny. An editorial in the Taipei Times expressed disappointment in Gou's perceived cheapness. While acknowledging his significant philanthropic pledge, the editorial lamented that Gou's actions following the wedding did not align with the expected level of grandeur. The discrepancy in spending, particularly in the context of such a high-profile event, contributed to the perception that Gou might be seen as somewhat frugal or even cheap, as expressed in the editorial's critique. This next billionaire spends most of her wealth on charity rather than on personal gains. Number 2. Christy Walton. Christy Walton, the widow of John Thomas Walton, one of the sons of Walmart's founder Sam Walton, inherited a significant stake in the retail giant. This was after her husband's tragic plane crash in 2005. Despite having a net worth of $11.6 billion, Christy Walton is known for her reserved and modest lifestyle in Jackson, Wyoming. She seldom gives interviews or makes public appearances, and is a dedicated Christian who supports numerous religious and educational causes. Christy has made it a point to provide her son with a grounded upbringing, raising him in a 19th century Victorian house in California. However, she chose to donate this home to charity after her husband's passing, and now she lives in Jackson, Wyoming. One of her notable contributions includes backing the Lincoln Project, an anti-Trump super PAC that produced advertisements for the 2020 election. Additionally, she financed a film adaptation of the acclaimed coming-of-age novel, Bless Me, Ultima. Ranked as the leading female philanthropist based on her charitable contributions relative to her wealth, Christy Walton has donated billions to various causes, particularly those supporting children's education and environmental protection. Her family's charitable organization, the Walton Family Charitable Support Foundation, also benefits from her contributions. This foundation focuses on education and aids institutions, such as the Sam Walton College of Business at the University of Arkansas and other colleges and community trusts. In 2007, the foundation donated approximately $1.6 billion. Christy is actively engaged with several nonprofit organizations, including the Philanthropy Roundtable, and supports institutions like the San Diego Natural History Museum, where she is a board member, and the San Diego Zoological Society and the Mingei International Museum. So, which billionaire tops this list as the one who lives like they are poor, irrespective of their wealth? Stay tuned to find out. Number 1. David Tepper. Not everyone with substantial wealth embraces a lavish lifestyle. Take David Tepper, for example. Despite his $20 billion fortune, Tepper keeps a low profile. He owns 2 sports teams, the Carolina Panthers, which he purchased for a record-breaking $2.3 billion, and Charlotte Football Club, which cost him $325 million. Even with his significant wealth, Tepper chose not to upgrade his home after becoming a billionaire. He still lives in a 2-story house he bought with his wife back in 1990, located in a typical New Jersey suburb. His 3 children attended public school instead of expensive private institutions, reflecting Tepper's frugal mindset. Unlike many wealthy individuals who own multiple vacation homes, Tepper stuck with his New Jersey residence and did not buy a vacation property. This reluctance to spend extravagantly may stem from his early experiences with investments. When he first ventured into the investment world, his father provided him with stakes in 2 companies in Pennsylvania, both of which eventually went bankrupt. These failures likely taught Tepper the importance of financial prudence. When asked about his confidence, Tepper explained that he was never afraid to return to his roots in Pittsburgh and work in the steel mills, showcasing his grounded approach to wealth. And that's it on billionaires who live like they are poor. These billionaires remind us of the saying that money talks but wealth whispers. So, what do you think of these billionaires who love to live like they are poor? Are their approaches to life worthy of emulation? Will you do the same when you get there? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. Please do well to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next one.